gonna be doing some more slipways. Do some runs. Our next one is going to be another tough run. We can also play on these special sectors. A darkened sector. Or an Isium sector. To practice on our campaign missions. But I think we'll do a standard sector. So, we got the 2 perks. Oh, this is an interesting sector, actually. I'm kind of on the fence on high birth rate. I think it's an interesting perk. Why don't I... Oh, I do have it. And the weak slip space. Right. Accept sector. Go with random races and perks. So we got the Dender, the Bakar, and the Sylphid. We've seen those recently, but we get a new combination. We get the perk Social Capital and Experimental Tech. I'm a fan of Social Capital. I think it makes a lot of good money in the early game. Let's see, we have asteroid mining available. There's also microforges again here. There's manufactured luxury, which can usually be good. And then on the Dender side, we see the Elysium project and nanites for the late game. Although it's unlikely we'll get more than about 2 of these techs with this combination. It might be possible. There are also trade hubs, which can be quite good in the mid game. And we do have an early game project with which to benefit with social capital from. Disease eradication is quite good. But we do have high birth rate, which means our colonies are going to be making a lot of humans. I wonder how we're going to use all those humans. That's going to probably be the main difficulty this run. Using a lot of humans can be quite a tricky thing to do when when there are not enough planets surrounding your colony, right? I mean, you could send some into laboratories, but then we would effectively be throwing away our bonuses. This starting location doesn't have a good starting scan either. It's a bit empty-ish. I mean, I like a challenge, right? Just wondering where... I think I should start here, in fact. Alright, this is something different. 2 forge world, or 2 minerals in a forge world. Now, I've been presuming that perhaps the races you pick have some effect on the planets you roll. Of course, these are not helping with high birth rate. And of course, I cannot get all of these. I mean, I could take this, but that wouldn't preclude... I mean, there's no real way of scanning here without... Oh, well, that one just sort of... It's somewhat annoying that we didn't get this one. It should have. No good starting location yet. Find out what this is. Just one ocean planet. That is out of range. There's still no way of making any two-way trade or any loop that I see, which is usually my criteria for, finding a start location. I haven't had a run yet where that was literally impossible, but this might be our first. Yeah, it's looking kind of unlikely we'll be able to do basically anything. I might want to go and start with something like this instead. As weird as that sounds. Let's have a look at these 3 though, because there are some possible loops here. Yeah, this is better. This is a lot better. These enable us to do some loops, probably. Like, mechanized harvest here could be good to make the food. That would be a two-way trade. The problem is, of course, that swamps require chips, which it doesn't have, and this requires ore, which this, even though it's a two-way trade and would be nice, it's too long of a connection. We don't have any tech to lengthen our slipways available, so this is not going to happen. So then, could this be something other than food? Well, it can really only make biomatter other than food, and I don't see much of a use for that material either. So this is a tricky start. There's no real good way of using these planets effectively. Making robots here is a risky maneuver because we would be looking for ore specifically. This connection can be made, so it's less risky. That would indicate we would need a farm on the ocean world, which would become an algae farm. The issue with that is, of course, is that, yeah, well, it could send it to the jungle planet. That doesn't seem like it's amazing either. We have a tech available that can somehow rescue us. It's also a good question to ask. There are freeze-resistant bots, solar superconductors, aside from disease eradication. Solar superconductors can work on the desert to turn this into an energy to help us make a missing resource with a chip. No chip nearby, of course, because it's in the corner. We don't know. This could do the same thing as an Arctic can, say for the colony, if you get freeze-resistant bots. Right, lichen farm is an Arctic farm, and thawing facility becomes like a permafrost melting, which is sort of the same thing. The ice ball is in a good location to make use of its water, somewhat. It forms a closed loop, it just needs a human input for the mineral world. But such a thing may be hard to come by, is the problem. We don't know. Maybe it's better to go with the original plan. Make a mine. And just, you know, build something here. But I don't know what, so just scan. Right, just make this mine to get some vision. Is the real answer. Making anything else, like this is the highest chance of becoming soul because people are the most common resource in the galaxy. This would need biomatter if we were going for a colony or an Arctic farm. I mean, a thawing facility would work, but there's a chance it doesn't consume anything. This at least has a guaranteed consumer and a near guaranteed producer for it. If I consume it now though, then I don't know which one to make. Bots or goods, I'm not sure. It's either one, but it could be, you know, that I want the one or the other. I'm unsure. The signals here aren't very strong either. This can be a very difficult beginning. But I think we'll have to, you know, take the 2 gold or 2 money and pay it in order to get more information, really. Okay. There's some kind of colony, but again, like no food available. Feels iffy to take it at this point. At least the large amount of mineral plants here might be good for a laboratory later. Of course, saying that. Yeah, just... I believe we have to take this colony. There could be something here. There's not, right? The only possible colonies there. I mean, that is available, but it's too expensive. I'll pay the 1 to do this in December. I don't want to do inefficient scans. I also don't want to take that because I could get a task to get ore. I get a task to discover planets, of course, right? And we're in this much of a bind. At least the task to make 3 chips is okay. I'm not so sure about getting a food planet successful. Since we have really no other all good option. I think we'll get the discovery task. As much as that pains me to have to spend so much time discovering things. Maybe in the future we'll be able to find some kind of tech to take care of this problem. And of course we find ourselves a desert that's in the way. At least solar superconductors will be able to solve our colony later. Which is sort of a part of it. And we'll be able to do the stealth mission like so, right? So this will be a connection for energy, which will be able to feed the people. So now the other thing we probably want to do is this other mineral planet, just to keep going. We're in October, but you know, again, there are no efficient scans available, so I might have to take the two. Now the problem with this setup, of course, is that our central planet is struggling, which means that it's generating less trade income. It's only generating 6 instead of 8. So our trade income is kind of low, kind of too low to really utilize well. I can make goods here, but it can't be used until we get the energy. And I can't get the energy until I get science, and I can't get science until I get the people. So we're in a catch-22 as well. Yeah, that helps. That's a two-way trade. I think I'll have to take that two-way trade, even though we're still unsure about the food situation here as well. There's also a bunch of asteroids here. I think that's just a sort of like we have no choice, really. The income it provides is not that good, but it's still something rather than nothing. Let's have a look down here. Okay, we discovered some planets finally. That's good. Okay, so another 6 chips. Where do you want us to go? That is so far away. It might be our way out, though, because it does reward 60 credits to do so. Making 6 more chips involves... Well, it involves using up these ores, which... That would be a good thing in a way, but also kind of not. Getting access to the early tech could be very strong. I might just want to take this forebear ruin. Now that we have options available to take. But which missions do we take? I might take explore the designated area. It looks far, but we only have to go to about here. And we have some planets available for us. Some of which are not unreasonable to settle. Like an Earth-like, it's quite likely we'll find some food for it. I might have to be careful with my money that I don't scan here, which feels kind of weird. I suppose I could make food here. It does connect. But it also cuts off the forge world from the minerals. In fact, it cuts off the source of robots for the farm from its minerals. There's no way of farming without robots here. And if I'm forced to make robots there, I can't get water in here as well. This don't look very nice. No matter how I do it. I think doing the energy solution is probably the best solution. You have one asteroid that can immediately be exploited. This is cheap, but not incredibly effective if you can't use all of it. A lab here, yes. But it's maybe too greedy to put that down, right? If I put it down, I have no money. So I might have to wait. Take a forebear ruin. We have up to 2 more planets before we hit the 7. This connection's fairly cheap too. Wait, did that just make it further? That's an interesting observation, actually. I will do it anyway. That might have ruined this run, in fact. I didn't know about how this worked, right? I don't often take this mission. For reasons that should be fairly obvious, it's kind of hard to do. Okay, so... I did not take the Dender, so... we won't really unlock these options until it's too late, so... is there maybe a way to get more credits than just 15 out of this? I would like to get more than 50. Ooh, look how that is a start. I wish I started here. It looks so much better. Like in so many ways. I'll take this 12. I'll take that. Yeah, we'll go down to 1 income, but we'll go back up to 14. That's so much of a stronger start than this mess. That's how you know. So we have to go all the way down now. Feels bad. Okay, I can. That's so far though. I mean, it does help you get down there. If I just found it, do we unlock it? It doesn't quite reach. I'm trying to beeline there, because beelining there means getting the money. I would like to get the science too, to unlock the solve with the desert. That just seems like it would be a smart move. So, just do this. It feels iffy to do that. Okay, there are a lot of good options there. Might want to try to use an asteroid instead. In order to get down far enough. What am I going to be making here? I have no idea. Water seems like a decent solution. As long as we can get some food from some other source. It's cheap enough. If I do scan, I would have to use an additional asteroid if this turns out to be the only food source. Have a look. It turns out to be the only food source, of course. So then... is it though? With relays perhaps? But it's... no. Okay, give me that money, sir. I would prefer to... I would prefer to get some use out of my... So then... yeah, we can get a free build of an infraspace relay. Or we can get some chips in here for 20. Which saves us having to colonize these two things and just, you know, allows me to keep that without too much of a hassle. Let's scrap it for parts. Though, you know, with the resource being available anyway, and us having to make 6 of it for a mission, it just doesn't seem like it would be that much of a big deal to do this. Of course, like, more lab sources are always good. I feel like getting the culture up is highly necessary. Getting that fix here will help a lot with the energy. Especially when that allows goods input to come online to 2 different places, potentially. There is also this Earth-like that can send a human somewhere, to multiple places in fact. There's an Arctic available here, but I can't reach it with biomatter. I'd love to make another colony to, you know, actually make full use of this food planet. This one needs chips, which are difficult to obtain. Yeah, we only have 5 plants available until the next increase in empire size. There's a sort of a difficult trade-off to be made here. And most of our plants are going to become very unhappy very soon. I don't see a way out of solving this without... I mean, I could make some science, right, and solve it right as we hit -8. At least for you. If we can afford to do that, that is, of course. Our income goes down further. I also have 2 free relays to place if I want to use them for my starting condition. I could use one here, for example, right, to solve this. But it's horribly expensive to do so. And cuts things off. Maybe I should have maybe used the relay here for this ocean world start. I don't know though. I mean, I could still use a couple, right? It still doesn't feel quite like the solution though. Like, it'll allow this ocean world to come to life. Which then does what? Right? Like, the ice ball still majorly in the way. It would require another relay. I mean, the relays are free, right? So I can use them to utilize our worlds better. Might I be able to use them over here? Okay, if I made the robot could make the food. And the food could go this way and around. That might be a solution as well. Right, like going for this is okay just to get the cash. I'd get the 60 as quickly as I can. Right now though, it's more about fixing things. I wonder if I fix it this way, if that would work reasonably well. I would start with the food then. You are free, it just costs me a month. As well as an upkeep. And, you know, that helps send people to various places. And then, you are affordable. I would have to skip to be able to afford more slipways. I could just take 15 credits again, but I don't really want to. I really do want science from at least one of these. Maybe we take one of them and not the other. I mean, it feels really bad to ignore these pretty great options for what will be quite a slow start in all scenarios. Well, now that, you know, that just increased our income from 14 to 30, so we just doubled it. So we're completely lost. Although you did just use all the ore I wanted to lab, but I don't think I have much of a choice. So can I somehow flip to doing a Dender mission soon? Perhaps. I could just make more chip and research those. Doesn't seem like a good idea. I think making a good here would be a great idea instead. I could send it over to this colony. Wait, what am I saying? This is a mineral planet. I can only make one thing that's minerals. So yeah. There's water here. I could... I mean, that's too far, right? It's too far away. Yeah, another skip. I don't much like it, but it's another skip. Maybe we'll be able to somehow get somewhere. Okay, there's another ruin. Which can provide even more microchip and stuff. Unfortunately, it boxes off both planets. So I can't actually use them to make goods, which would be my main goal. Instead, it's another opportunity to lab things. Same as there, I suppose. This asteroid turns out to be useless in any other way, so I can consume it. I'll have to consume it anyway. We can unlock the solar farm. I might just want to take it together with disease eradication later. This does unlock. Yeah, so now this generates a massive amount of people. With nowhere to really send them is the real issue. I kind of saw this one coming. And then we can make disease eradication for even more, right? We can make 6 humans on a single planet, but where to send them? That's my real question. We don't have something like ascension gates to send them to, so we'll have to build a lot of infraways and things. Which are expensive, right? This is not a run where we're having a lot of money, which is sort of like the things don't really work well together. There's water available, which I could send in. With our second relay here. I do this now, I pay 4. Our progress is slow enough that this time be worth more than the money is. Or the other way around, sorry, the money is worth more than the time. You get the idea, right? So building this relay will allow a lab to create more science. So I'll block you off, but I don't care too much in particular. There's now 2 ore available. If I take this option, it's 3 and 2 humans as well. I can take some money in order to set this up more quickly, perhaps. It's worth it if we can set it up 2 or 3 years quicker, but I figured out it was used. Though a free infraspace relay is probably worth the 15. This one's 19, but again, there's like 8 science in there as well. Okay. So we got some science going this way. I don't think that one is worth playing right now. This one might be, though. It's our 15th planet. It at least consumes a human. It makes much more science. And I could do this as well. To make myself a chip for the mission and make myself some income. We're not entirely lost. Especially once our Dender perk starts doing something, hopefully. I want to use more people on things. Ideally we get some Former effects that, like this establish a museum effect, for example, right? But unfortunately I walled it off. It's good if you find a Forber rune surrounded by a bunch of colonies, then you can make some, decent chunk of happiness for it. But with just the one, I don't really see that. I think this is probably going to be learn about the culture. And this is probably going to be recycle. Lensify is neat and all, but, I can exactly place it so I can exactly connect that. So I can make 8 science here if I wanted to. So that we just kind of stick to 15 question mark for a bit. Try to get something going that'll increase our income. We're gonna have to skip another year. This doesn't feel very good, does it? These happinesses are now maxed out at the minimum. Can't really do anything about it. I mean, it could try to expand, right? But we'll have to incur a very hefty empire size penalty if I do that. I mean, I do get these asteroids, right? So I think it's okay, actually, to do that this year. Because I do get to throw in water here, too. For quite cheap, because it's a short connection. I get to at least do something this year, which is always, you know, nice. And I get to fix some plants up. When we get to consume an asteroid for 18. I mean, this feels okay. There's unfortunately no real way of getting that. I use my relays. I want to have a look if I can add this in. And there's always a forge world here, so it's quite likely, especially with the desert there, which, remember, we have solar superconductors. I also now have a disease eradication, which hopefully will help a little bit. Like, how are you doing? 8. How are you doing? 8. And if I place it, it goes up to 11, right? So it does make me 3 more income. I also have 3 spare humans that I have no idea what to use. It will have a massive unemployment penalty, I suppose, at the end of the game. This will take me to the mission screen, right? Yeah. Give me some more tasks. Let's see. We are going all right with the missions. But the Empire is going way too slowly to make a very good run. The Dender wants food. I want to do the Dender mission explicitly because we have 3 forebear ruins that would like to pop the Dender thing. Get a forge world to prosperous. Already prosperous? How? Where? I mean, there's a desert here, which could make some energy. Take some robot, make a second one, send in goods, send in that. You're successful, you're successful, you're going to be successful. We have a prosperous forge world. Well, it can actually be done fairly simply. That's surprising, right? I didn't think we'd be able to do that easily, but turns out with, you know, all these sources of energy around, yeah. So the first thing I want to probably do is fix you up, because you're struggling and costing me a lot of money. There we go, and that's you know, at least a little bit of help. I'm not doing anything with these two. I was just using it for the mission. But I can found this people planet here now, and I probably should. I'll just send in some stuff. Now, before we go to January, since I have some extra money, incredibly speaking, I should invest that into disease eradication projects. Do we have any late game projects that we might? Well, there's the Elysium project, but I mean, are we really realistically going to be building that in all these places? Maybe in this center location, right? Because there are a bunch of resources around here. There's water and biomatter and chips and ore. We have skill up facilities for later. Like this one I might want to hold off. And I'm also going to get bots around here. Like nearly all the resources are going to be available for you. Maybe for you too. I think this one though should get a facility. Send in a human here. And maybe get to prosperous. So yeah, we get another tech, a 1 gene adjustment, which will help with the income problems. I want the robot. And are you out of range? You're out of range, aren't you? Yes. Well, maybe we don't get to do the thing I wanted to do. I mean, I can send one over here, but that's not good enough. But at least I can at least send you a chip. That's about what I can do. I mean, I can make another chip happen. But you need neighbors. The main issue is getting a robot in there, which I can't make happen because his connection length is too much. Well, that's unfortunate. I thought I had a prosperous Forge World there. Do we have any other good locations for it? Not really. Everything's far apart. This is a harsh galaxy. There's another ruin. Maybe I should focus on the Dender mission instead, then just get some food. That should be doable compared to the rest of the mess. Before doing so, I'll maybe get myself this stuff here. I suppose I could send you another chip. And just to get our science a little bit better. And I suppose that could go in as well. Maybe I should be making a disease eradication here. If I can use the person for something. And that seems reasonable. I just can't, so maybe it's not reasonable then. Am I really just stuck on... I'm just kind of stuck on this mess. So moving in this direction then? Or how am I getting the water to... These are... This empty area here is also kind of blocking our path. And of course the robots are blocked off here. I can make some more though. And I really should. This seems like a good idea. Because that is a prosperous planet. That does help a little bit. Unfortunately, not being able to use all the people means it's not really super good. Do we have chips available for this? Instead of having to use an energy to make energy? If I want to use it, I'm going to have to use energy to make energy. We're in November. Like, ideally I go to the next year, because we do have to pay for an empire size increase. It's actually good, because we get 79 instead of 55. So then, we have to go do that. So yeah, I could maybe try some shenanigans here. You need an export? Right? And then that's a two-way trade. Two-way trade first, makes more money. There's energy-driven industry available as well as geothermals. I mean, just going heavy on the energy could just be a solution to our woes. For a bit, at least. I mean, yeah, there are geothermals available. I can make bolts here, make another energy. It's just that we need the third successful adjacency, which has to be this colony. And unless there's ore available, I don't see that happening. Like, it could get this arid, but it needs resources as well. There's no good way of solving this. I scanned here, but maybe I shouldn't have. This one's interesting because of the two forebears, but it can't really get any resources. Let's go back here, actually. This does make another food for the Dender mission. It's also an energy we could link up. I mean, I could just link it up directly, which makes a lot more sense than chaining the energies together. Oh, by the way, I can do energy-driven industry to make 7 people on one planet. There's no real point to it, but we can say that we maximize the people output of any planet, anywhere, ever. But, you know, it serves no real good in-game purpose. I mean, I guess we can use people as researchers. There is... oh, we got an interruption. Hold on a second. All right. What was I doing? I have no idea what I was doing. Struggling. We were struggling. I could do that. It's sort of part of the plan, but not really. Well, that don't work, right? Because you're already sending it there. And you can't make another bot without getting a chip input. Just the hard part. And there's no chip input, of course. That would be too easy. And I would so love to do it, right? Because it's bought into both into food, food into earth, earth into there into there back there. It all works out. If I could just find the one thing it needs. Well, there it is. We do this, right? Send it. This is a long chain of plans to do what I want to do with it. I think it's worth doing. So now I get another bit of science. I'm not using the science yet. While there's no point, right? I mean, there's trade hub structures available. That's not the things I have spare, right? I don't have a lot of spare resources. And that's not true. There's like 3 different kinds here. 4 we get skill up. Which is available later. And it kind of negates the ability to do the Elysium project though, that's the thing. Which would be, of course, much preferable to a trade hub. So what's the microforges again? I think I was kind of interested in them, but you need lots of spare ore. And that'd be the one resource we don't really have too much spare of. There's this here, these are good. We don't have the flexi-fab this time to make goods. And it would also require, you know, this connection, which cannot be made because of the thing being just in the way. Asteroid mines, I mean, I used all my asteroids. I didn't really have a choice in the early game. I kind of got really hard by that. There's one here that could be done, right? Send in a person. I mean, asteroid mines are a good way to, you know, send a lot of people to whichever way. How much time do they cost to make? 2 months, and they cost 3 a year. So it doesn't even make all that much money. Like you get 4 trade income from sending a person, and you have to spend 3 on the asteroid mine. Unless we can send in like 3, 4, 5 humans, it just doesn't seem like it's worth doing even. Nice little quirk. Does it work with energy-driven industry? Perhaps, right? But I mean, it doesn't even count as a planet to make you, you know, more and happier people. There is something turning biomatter into robots, which is neat for, you know, certain two-way trades. Right, I could turn biomatter into robots here, turn the robots into food, and they'll not be able to do anything with the food. And it's like, what would I use the robots for? Only if I had drill bots. But I do, right? Maybe we go with that. Get the drill bots afterwards. We do advance afterwards. We do have quite an okay science output to get it. And then, you know, that will allow me to just forego making people. We have to do something weird this run in order to be able to. I think doing this two-way trade is neat. And then this will be drill bots, and this will be drill bots. Alright, just use all the robots everywhere and just make a bunch of robots. I still have to produce some food in some place though, so I'm gonna make it somewhere else near a colony. We got some really good colonies, but I was like, we could also just not make them. Find another remnant I could use. Or, you know, another Earth-like. Or that. If I couldn't get myself a robot out of here, that would... Nah, I don't. Another Dender event. Okay, if I just make a farm, though it would hurt, again, just make a farm here. Don't do anything with the food, but just make a farm there. Take the 2 happiness. And get a lot of things. What else would I be making here, right? So Dender options unlocked allow us to get 8 science here. Another 8 science here. I don't know, here? Maybe we get an infraway. Leave it for a bit. Instead we get ourselves... Ooh, we have nanofabrication too. We get ourselves the classic combo, which is nanofabrication and drill bots and all those things. What that allows you to do is just like not use humans. Who needs humans, right? We don't want any humans. Even though all our perks benefit from humans, we don't want... Look at all these options, right? We got lots of options. For Forge Worlds, that is. You are obstructed, right? You could be a colony. Or you could make water for ice balls. And you could make robots from the biomatter. I think I make more robots, right? We just keep making robots. Our science is not very good, but... Is there a way to improve it? Because our income is 88. Yeah, I could improve some here. It won't be a lot, but it will be a few. I think we can afford to make some science now. With, you know, 148 cash. Seems fine. We go down to 79 income. We still have a reasonable amount of people available everywhere. And by that I mean too many. I want that one in for space relay, or do I want 6 more science? Probably I want the 6 more science, to be honest. Because that actually gets us to the point where I want to go, which is nanofabrication. So now I can make Forge Worlds out of anywhere and combine that with the ability to... I wish I had freeze resistant bots as well, and I hadn't gone for disease eradication now. Just go for the heavy robot strategy, the Bakar strategy. Because then you could have the option of making water on these. That's still okay, I think, though. We can make bots here. And I can turn that into a two-way trade. Then I can make ore here. And now we have a bunch of ore and chips over here. Now the ideal tech is to have, you know, use robots as humans. Replicating nanites would also be very good. We could just keep expanding our robot thing. We should get a Forge World that prospers, and I still haven't done that. I might be able to do so, though. If I could just find, you know, enough close nearby plants, I could just transform into Forge Worlds. And then those can become prosperous. You need imports and exports. Yeah, so about that, you already have everything exported, so we just need imports, which we can't really get. You want an export of water, which I wish I could do that, right? Because that'll allow me to send the biomatter as well and get an upgrade. In any case, this ice ball right over here would probably do better as a Forge World. So I can just turn it into a Forge World and make some robots, which will use up all this ore here. Now, the ideal tech is to have use robots as humans, so I can just, you know, not use humans anywhere anymore. Who needs them? So now I can make that here as well as hybrid hatchery. And now I would like to send some microchips over, but the connection's too long. So this swamp over here, right? I mean, I don't want these human things. What would I need humans for? What would I need dirty humans for? I don't want humans. We only work with robots here. So now this can be an energy producer. You are successful. Just giving it some more imports and exports will yield me a prosperous planet. See if I can do that, right? I should be able to. Let's make another forge world. Make some more robots. Right, that helps. I created a prosperous world here. This one's still not there though. It wants more stuff in and out. I really would like another planet there, but I don't get one, of course. So we still don't get to do the mission. It's still off. So are you the answer then? I can make a drill ball. She'll form me a 2E3. Yeah, there we go. Silted tech discounted. Okay. Make 9 more robots. I think that's going to be our thing, right? And 10 more ore. Can we do both? You have 2 years. We also have skill download, which might just allow us to do these things. Right, it might just allow you to make robots and ore just by placing skill up facilities everywhere. And of course I have these things like asteroids here. Skill up facilities should allow me to make things. Now ideally I place them in such a way that I can use the resources that are output. There were some locations where I could use extra resources. This is sending 2 robots, and there are 3 robot locations. So this can send a 3rd. Wait, why can't it? Oh, it's already sending 3, but we're upgrading it to 4. Yeah, researching robots here would be nice too, yeah? We just don't have the time for that. It's just a bit unfortunate. We got started too late, basically, with, you know, getting things going. I got things going in the end. I don't think it'll be great, but, you know, this is something different, right? This is good. This makes both of our resources go up, right? I could even do that. Make another ore this way. Another successful planet too. It's out of range. I can't send bots into these. I wish I could. I wish I had that tech available. Bots as humans, humans as bots. Those would be, you know, the ideal things. I think that I want to do this tech strategy once, right? With the nanofabrication plus the drill bots. If you have both available, you can make a lot of robots work. I just thought our start was just not really that strong. But I mean, pivoting into this is reliable, right? It'll work almost all the time. I just need to make more robots. I don't really have the money to afford all these skill ups, actually. I'm just looking at my money income. It's like, it's only 50. It's to be expected from a run where we have no real economic boosts to speak of, and a very big empire of 41 planets. That's actually quite bigger than I expected it to become. That's alright. It's just, how can we get all these imports and exports for all these upgrades too? You want one more, you can't get one from here, that's the problem. You can get this one if I could cross the streams, but I can't, of course. Everything's producing the same thing here. This one needs chips, which again is obstructed. Not from here, but it's too far. I'll take the 24 credits. It's a good asteroid. So that works to make ore for a very high cost. But it will make quite a bit of ore. Right, 2 more. And we need 10. Alright, so gotta somehow get there. Now, if I could get some goods in as well, right? from here, for example, from robots. I made this a forge world. I think we will fail these missions, in fact. If I make some goods, I could get some prosperous planets. I mean, that does seem good. It just seems like failing the missions, though. Because, like... or maybe not, though. Maybe I can do this. Get myself some credits or some science. Credits, probably. I can grab myself energy-driven industry, which should improve. I'll just got the one bot for it. And then this is the final month. Get an additional 64, and now we have 143. I think I can do the ore mission with that. Just plonk down 5 skilled facilities. Yeah, 4 and 5. Which, you know, at least saves us the one problem, but the other one is... I can make an additional robot with that energy. It was already being supplied. That doesn't do anything. Can just do one more connection, basically, and that's it. This was a fast run. Only 1 hour and 8 minutes. That's fun, too. A quickie. I'll do another one, then. There isn't really a good way of spending 18, right? No, spending 22 to do that. Just looking around. Yes, well, this was rather inefficient. Large and inefficient is what this run was. Also, like, not a lot of happiness, right? Because we have a lot of unemployment and resource shortages. Yeah, the unemployment, right? I don't really like the sector type all that too much, because getting an extra human on a planet, actually, I don't think it should be a bonus. It usually ends up being a penalty. And a pretty hefty one too, because unemployment makes for unhappiness. Like, colonies make enough people, as it turns out. A shortage of people is pretty rare. And this shows, right? We have a surfeit of them. And no real good way of using them. Like some, you know, a colony here would be great, but it's not there. It's also like, this one's still the funniest to me. It's got 7 people on it. You can only really use 3. Like, it's producing more happiness from unemployment than it's gaining from being prosperous, which is just a bit sad, right? It's very prosperous, but it's also incredibly overcrowded, so it's just not working out. Yes, we call this the overcrowded run, I suppose. And it's not going to end up too great. Yeah. Only 4 stars. I wasn't too surprised. I suppose if we hadn't taken the mission, we might have ended up at 5 stars. No, I don't even think so. We paid 500 for the uncompleted mission. Happiness is only 104%, and yeah. Yeah, weak slip space, I suppose, right? But weak slip space wasn't really, you know, that isn't usually a big problem. But it's more the high birth rate, actually. That's more the problem. And which text do we get, actually? Solar superconductors. Like, I do think that this combo of texts can work, right? Just not in the way we got them. You need some more... we would need some more science to make it really work. And then to get, you know, the fast colonization tech.